Very good morning to all of you. I welcome you all for this exciting session from TNV Academy. In today's session, we'll be talking about the clause 5.2 quality policy as well as 5.3 organizational roles, responsibilities and authorities, and these two clauses are coming under the main clause 5, which is leadership as per ISO 9001:2015. Now let us understand about the internal references taken by the subclass 5.2 and 5.3 of ISO 9001:2015. They take reference from ISO 9000:2015. Standard spells out the terms and definitions, the meaning of the terms used in this international standard, so that no misinterpretation of the terms is done while implementing the requirements of ISO 9001:2015. Now let me tell you what are the key learnings, takeaways from this session. At the end of this chapter, you'll be able to understand how the quality policy is established by the top management for the organization, how the commitment of leadership is evidenced in the policy, how the policy is communicated, understood, applied in the organization, what are all the roles, responsibility, authorities and accountabilities, how the top management engagement with the people in the organization for effective implementation of quality management system. So let's begin our discussion with the subclass 5.2 quality policy. The policy is the guiding force for the establishment, implementation and maintenance of the quality management system. The policy requirements are enhanced in this version of the standard. The clause 5.2.1 of the ISO 9001:2015 states that top management shall establish, implement and maintain a quality policy that is appropriate to the nature of the products and services, provides a framework for setting quality objectives, includes a commitment to satisfy applicable requirements, includes a commitment to continual improvement of the quality management system. The policy should be very specific to the nature of products and services of the organization and not a generic version of the policy. Also, the words commitment and continual improvement should be an integral part of the policy. It is advisable to keep the policy short and sweet, covering the essence of the ISO standard requirements instead of making lofty statements about the organization which is not mandatory. Most importantly, the policy should be dated and signed by the top management of the organization who has got the authority to provide the resources for the implementation of the quality management system. The signature on the document is evidencing the written commitment of the top management. Hence, a quality policy without signature by the top management is not a valid document. Please understand that. The subclause 5.2.2 communicating the policy as per ISO 9001 states that the quality policy shall be available and be maintained as a documented information, be communicated, understood and applied within the organization, and be available for interested parties as appropriate. As you can see from the standard, it is mandatory documentary information. The communication of the policy could be done in one of these following ways. You can publish the same policy in the company website, displaying the policy with the signature of the top management in the notice boards and other common places like reception, giving it to the people who have an interest in your business like clients, suppliers, manufacturers and staff, conducting awareness training for employees and communicating the policy in a proper manner. The essence of the policy to be internalized by everyone in the organization rather than memorized. Everyone in the organization should understand and reflect upon the same and analyze what they need to do in their own sphere of influence and departments so that the written commitment by the top management in the policy can be achieved. So let's begin our discussion with the subclass 5.3 roles, responsibilities and authorities. This subclass is in alignment with the fundamental QMS principle, engagement of people. How the top management engages with the people in the organization and empower them to realize the vision and mission statements of the organization. The subclass 5.3 of the ISO 9001:2015 states that top management shall ensure that the responsibilities and authorities for relevant roles are assigned, communicated, and understood within the organization. Top management shall assign the responsibility and authority for ensuring the QMS conforms to the requirements of ISO 9001:2015, ensuring that the processes are delivering intended outputs, reporting on the performance of QMS and opportunities for improvement to the top management. Ensuring the promotion of customer focus throughout the organization. Ensuring integrity of quality management system is maintained when changes to the quality management system are planned and implemented. Role indicates the designation of a person employed in the organization. For example, HR manager is a role given to the person who is in charge of the human resources development department. Responsibility is a job description associated with the role in the organization. There will be a list of activities which he needs to do on a daily basis. That will be his responsibility. Responsibility should be clearly communicated to the person or personnel so that there is no ambiguity in the process. Person without responsibility is a liability for the organization. One, he will not work and he will also spoil others' work. That's why every person in the organization should have a clear-cut responsibility. While allocating roles and responsibilities and authorities, the organization must remember the customer at all times and the outcome of the business processes and how they can be improved. For some persons in the organization, certain amount of authority is given by the top management to take decisions with a view to improving the efficiency of functioning of the organization. Please note that persons having authority need to be accountable for the decision taken by them. Every organization evidences the requirements of this clause in the form of an organization structure or organogram with clear hierarchy and allocation of responsibilities and authorities. The term management representative is no longer referred in the standard. Hence, the appointment of MR is not mandatory. However, the responsibility of reporting the performance of quality management system and opportunities for improvement, in particular to the top management, is done by the person designated by the top management as MR. MR is the convener of management review meetings and is a bridge between the organization and the certification body for effective implementation of quality management system and coordinating internal and external audits. Friends, I hope you are clear with the requirements of clause 5.2 and 5.3 of ISO 9001:2015. So now we'll learn about the mandatory documentary requirements one has to maintain while meeting the requirements of clause 5.2 and 5.3. There is a mandatory documentary requirement of maintaining the quality policy as per the clause 5.2 of ISO 9001:2015. Whereas the clause 5.3 does not have any mandatory documentation. However, the communication of responsibilities should be evidenced in some form or the other. Organization structure is an evidence to satisfy this requirement. Dear friends, we have now come to the conclusion of this training session. I hope that you all must have understood the requirements of concepts that fall under 5.2 and 5.3 of ISO 9001:2015. We will see you again in another exciting new training session by TNV Academy. Till then, it's me signing off. Thank you and goodbye.